The Shining is one of my favourite films of all time, and I could talk for days on the structure and the pacing of it, but I want to focus on something that's often overlooked. Who's the real hero of The Shining? Understanding the protagonist isn't as easy as a film like Batman, where it's very clear who the hero and the villain is, whereas in The Shining we need to think about it psychologically. We have Jack Torrance, who very much appears to be the protagonist at the start. He wants to be a good husband and father, but early on you get the sense that he isn't all that. He's been an alcoholic, he has a bad temper, and he's hurt his son Danny in the past. This immediately tells you that there's a weakness to him that may or may not be open to vulnerability. However, being weak doesn't necessarily contribute to being a bad person, so let's dive deeper. When Jack and his family move into the Overlook Hotel, you can instantly feel that something greater is present. Now, by viewing the Overlook Hotel as a character, it's easier to understand the forces of antagonism working against Jack. The tasks are repetitive, the building is huge yet suffocating, and he slowly gives in to the effects of cabin fever. Having that prior weakness to him is what the hotel feeds off, and is eventually what turns Jack from a protagonist into the antagonist. But the hotel isn't entirely to blame. I want to talk about Jack's character more, but first we need to look at his wife Wendy, who I believe is one of the strongest characters of the film. Although she serves no real purpose to the hotel nor Jack as he grows to despise her, she ultimately holds the fate of what happens to her and their son Danny. She never suffers from the hotel's effects, and beside from the fear she already has of her husband, she powers through it all till the end. Now, this is the important part. Wendy grows throughout the film from a weak housewife to a potential hero. Some may find Wendy useless or annoying at first, but that's because we're seeing her from Jack's point of view. Although he's negligent and abusive, Kubrick structures Wendy as the villain. He manipulates us to believe that she's a pointless character, and the audience is very happy to accept her as such, but it isn't until you dive deeper into the psychology behind it that you realise that this isn't the case. The moment we begin to see Wendy become more heroic is when Jack is submerged with the hotel. We're no longer seeing her from Jack's perspective because he's already reached his full potential. We're now beginning to see everything from the hotel's point of view. Jack's now completely open to the fact that he wants to kill his wife, allowing the audience to see past that initial character manipulation. Wendy also begins to see Jack for what he truly is, an abusive husband with or without the hotel's influence. Wendy's main desire is to have a happy family, which completely contradicts her need, which is to leave Jack and save her son, even before they've moved to the Overlook Hotel. It's very easy to brush Wendy off as boring or irritating, but she loved her husband through thick and thin. She moved out to the middle of nowhere for him, she even looked past the emotional abuse he constantly inflicted on her. Now, Jack could have remained the protagonist of the film even after suffering through the effects of the hotel, but Kubrick clearly didn't want this. I can't say for sure that it was his intention to make Wendy the hero, but that's the way I see her. Once you look past Kubrick's manipulation of her character, she's essentially the biggest factor of Jack's downfall. I know you need to account multiple different events that ultimately build up to the loss of his sanity, but Jack's end goal is to kill his family. With a past of abuse and the hatred of his wife, the hotel's illusions and influence was simply a stepping stone, making him undoubtedly the antagonist. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my theory, and please like the video and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this.